Lesson 29. God is in everything I see. The idea for today explains why you can see all purpose in everything. It explains why nothing is separate, by itself or in itself. And it explains why nothing you see means anything. In fact, it explains every idea we have used thus far, and all subsequent ones as well. Today's idea is the whole basis for vision. You will probably find this idea very difficult to grasp at this point. You may find it silly, irreverent, senseless, funny, and even objectionable. Certainly God is not in a table, for example, as you see it. Yet we emphasized yesterday that a table shares the purpose of the universe, and what shares the purpose of the universe shares the purpose of its creator. Try then, today, to begin to learn how to look on all things with love, appreciation, and open-mindedness. You do not see them now. Would you know what is in them? Nothing is as it appears to you. Its holy purpose stands beyond your little range. When vision has shown you the holiness that lights up the world, you will understand today's idea perfectly, and you will not understand how you could ever have found it difficult. Our 6 2-minute practice periods for today should follow a now familiar pattern. Begin with repeating the idea to yourself, and then apply it to randomly chosen subjects about you, naming each one specifically. Try to avoid the tendency towards self-directed selection, which may be particularly tempting in connection with today's idea because of its wholly alien nature. Remember that any order you impose is equally alien to reality. Your list of subjects should therefore be as free of self-selection as possible. For example, a suitable list might include: God is in this coat hanger, God is in this magazine, God is in this finger, God is in this lamp, God is in that body, God is in that door, God is in that wastebasket. In addition to the assigned practice periods, repeat the idea for today at least once an hour, looking slowly about you as you say the words unhurriedly to yourself. At least once or twice you should experience a sense of restfulness as you do this. Lesson 29. God is in everything I see. This lesson is radical because it challenges the way we see everything. It forces us to question our assumptions about God, reality, and perception itself. If God is omnipresent, then God must be in everything. God is omniscient, all-knowing, God is omnipresent, everywhere, God is omnipotent, all-powerful, but what does omnipresent really mean? If God is everywhere, then where is he not? Nowhere. There is no place, no thing, no person in which God is absent. That's the foundation of this lesson. It's not just saying God is in church, it's saying God is in this table, God is in this trash can, God is in this criminal, God is in this politician I hate, God is in everything I see. That's where the resistance comes in. The ego rejects this idea because it has already judged what is holy and what is profane. The idea explains why you can see all purpose in everything. Wait, all purpose, yes. The lesson is saying everything has purpose, and that purpose comes from God's presence within it. Let's take a look. You see a table? It serves the purpose of holding things. But beyond that, it's part of the interconnectedness of all things. It exists. It shares the purpose of the universe. You see a broken chair? That chair still exists in this moment, serving its purpose, even if that purpose isn't what you think it is. You see a painful event in your life? It too has a purpose, even if you can't see it yet. Everything is here for a reason. Nothing is separate. That's a direct contradiction to how we usually think. It explains why nothing is separate. Our default view of the world is based on separation. We think, this is me, that is you. This is a table, that is a lamp. This is good, that is bad. But what this lesson is saying is separation is an illusion. Nothing is separate by itself or in itself. A table cannot exist by itself. It's made of wood which came from a tree, and a tree cannot exist alone. It needs sun, water, and earth. And where did the sun, water, and earth come from? God. Everything is connected. Nothing exists in isolation. It explains why nothing you see means anything. This connects back to earlier lessons. Lesson 1. Nothing I see means anything. How does this lesson explain that? Because meaning comes from separation. We assign meaning to things based on our ego's judgments, not based on truth. For example, if you think a dollar bill is valuable, that's just a judgment. The dollar is paper and ink. If you think a murderer is evil, that's also a judgment. The act was destructive, but is the soul itself evil? If you think a table is just a table, you're missing its true nature, which is that it exists as part of everything, within the wholeness of God. Everything only has the meaning you give it. But in reality, it all shares one divine purpose. You will probably find this idea very difficult to grasp. Why is it hard to grasp? Because we don't want to accept God is in everything. We don't want to see God in the murderer. We don't want to see God in Hitler. We don't want to see God in Trump. The ego rejects this lesson because it wants to divide the world into good and evil, holy and profane. But if God is truly everywhere, then he must be in everything, even in places we don't want to look. That's where the discomfort comes in. You may find it silly, irreverent, senseless, funny, or even objectionable. What does each one of these mean in this context? Silly. Oh, come on. God in a trash can? That's ridiculous. Mocking the idea. Irreverent. This is almost blasphemous. How can you say God is in something unholy? Senseless. This makes no logical sense. A table is a table, period. Funny. God is in a wastebasket? That's hilarious. Nervous laughter. Objectionable. I refuse to believe God is in that criminal or that bad event in my life. Our ego wants to reject the idea, but rejection doesn't make it false. A table shares the purpose of the universe. How? Because everything that exists has one ultimate purpose, to be a part of the whole. A table is not separate from the universe. It exists as part of the greater reality, just as we do. And what shares the purpose of the universe shares the purpose of its creator. If everything is connected and God is in everything, then everything shares God's purpose. And what is that purpose? Oneness, love, truth, reality itself. Try then to begin to learn how to look on all things with love, appreciation, and open-mindedness. How do you do this? With love. Instead of seeing a person as annoying, recognize that they are also part of God. With appreciation. See the beauty in something mundane, a simple chair, a tree, a crack in the sidewalk. With open-mindedness. Instead of assuming you already know what something is, ask, what if I'm wrong? What if there's more to this? When vision has shown you the holiness that lights up the world, you will understand today's idea perfectly. This is a direct promise. Once you stop seeing the world through the ego's eyes, you will never be able to see it the same way again. The snake and the rope analogy. He once thought the rope was a rattlesnake, but when he finally saw it was just a rope, he could never be afraid of it again. Now he understands perfectly, and he wonders how he ever believed a rope was a rattlesnake. That's what this lesson is saying. Once you see clearly, you will never again believe in the illusion of separation. Final thought. The shift in vision. Lesson 29 is not asking you to force yourself to see God in everything immediately. It's asking you to be open to the possibility that you've been seeing incorrectly. What if God really is in everything? What if my judgments have been wrong? Once you start asking that, you are already seeing differently. That is the beginning of vision.